What's up, y'all? I'm Tyler Chrome, and I'm here to tell you guys my top 10 turn-ons and turn-offs in women. This is something that you guys voted on my Twitter, and it was by far, like, there was 4 options. It got 70-something% of the votes on what to do my next YouTube video on. So this is something you guys wanted to see, and hopefully I come through. Let's get started. So I'm gonna start this by going through my turn-offs first. Number 1, and I believe it's probably number 1 for most people, shouldn't be too much of a surprise: liars. There's no tolerance for this at all. Not with me, shouldn't be with anyone. And I try to hold myself to the same standard, you know, as I do anyone that I would want to marry or have as my girlfriend. If you don't have trust, then you don't have anything. And it sounds cliche, but it's serious. Like, that's really how it works. I mean, it should be pretty obvious to everyone, but if you don't have trust in that person, how do you know that they're just not going to leave at some random time? How do you know they're not going to cheat on you? How do you know that they're going to follow through with their responsibilities, and if y'all get married one day, pay the bills on time, and, you know, take care of the kids or any responsibilities, or keep you accountable? Like, if they're not honest, how do you know what to believe and not to believe? I mean, that's really just the basis of all relationships. So that should be a pretty easy one. That shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. Number 2 turn off: gold diggers. And this one seems to be more and more common as this new generation of the generation after millennials. I'm not even sure what they're called, but as each generation goes, basically, it gets worse and worse, it seems like to me. The amount of people, male and female, that I find care way too much about physical things. The reason why nowadays is social media. Everyone shows the positive things in their life. Hardly anyone puts their negative stuff on social media. And if they do, you probably don't follow them because you don't want to see it, you know. So you think everyone's lives are greater than they really are most of the time. So you see all these nice things. You see all these rich people with all their stuff. You see all these famous people with all their materialistic, or their materials that they have because of their fortune and fame. And you start reaching for those things, and you start reaching for the physical materials instead of like the actual mindset that it took for those people to get to those places. And so a gold dig, that falls under the category, or a gold digger falls under that category, because what's extremely unattractive to me is when women think that, like, their job on this earth and their only purpose is to look good and sit at home and, you know, their man make the money. They don't really do much. They just go spend his money, and he's the provider, and they don't really do anything but look good and focus on themselves. I mean, that is a huge turnoff. I need someone who's going to help build an empire with me, who's going to help me get to that next level, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Number 3, turn off. And these aren't in any particular order, by the way. But number 3, this is a big one. This is like one of those immediate, not dealing with it. Smokers. And I know it's a pretty common thing to smoke weed nowadays. I go back and forth with this. What I mean by go back and forth, though, is not go back and forth on what if I'm attracted to it or not. It's unattractive to me for a person to smoke. First of all, cigarettes, out the window, no question, done, no chance. I'm not dating someone who smokes cigarettes, and I'm not gonna smoke cigarettes. I've never smoked a full cigarette in my life. I've tried them, I won't lie about that, but, you know, it's unattractive, everything about it. Smoking weed, definitely unattractive to me, but I guess if there was some rare occurrence, which I've never found this to be true with any girl I've ever met, but for a girl to smoke weed, it not really affect their life much. They don't spend too much money on it. They're not lazy because of it. They don't hang out with the wrong people because of it. They don't choose it over more important things in their life. That is what's hard to find. It's not that smoking weed in itself is actually such a horrible thing. And I do think it has plenty of purposes, and I don't care if it's legalized. That's not a big deal to me. Just because I don't smoke it doesn't mean I don't think other people should be able to, because it doesn't actually, alter your mindset enough to where you can't like have your motor skills and drive and things like that. At least as far as I know. It's not like I've done a bunch of research on it, but so the smoking weed thing's definitely unattractive, but it's a whole different ball game than when a person smokes cigarettes. 4, if a girl is controlling. The reason why this one is a big deal is because I'm a very ambitious person. I need my time to put towards my goals. That time can't always be spent with the significant other. If I need to be alone in an office or alone sometimes in the gym to use, whether it be in the office or studying or trying to improve myself mentally or trying to work on like a certain business that I have or a certain partnership I have, or the gym, for me at least, is kind of a way of getting away from life. It's like a stress reliever for me. So these things you kind of need to do on your own sometimes. And when a significant other is too controlling and they want to be with you all the time, or they don't want you to go do anything without them because they're jealous or insecure or don't trust you, whatever it may be, that's a problem when you're a really ambitious person. And there's things you can do to make this better, though. Don't, be trustworthy, men, guys out there, be trustworthy. Don't give your woman a reason to not trust you. If you're doing that, if you're giving her comfort in the fact that she can trust you, she's going to be a lot less likely to try to be controlling. So that's going to help you out right there. If you don't develop bad habits, like if you want to go do things on your own, yeah, that's cool. If you want to go, like I said, if you're in an office or if you're studying, you need that alone time, or if you're in the gym, those are healthy habits as long as you don't overdo it. But if you have these bad habits, if you need some alone time, quote unquote, but you're out with your boys drinking and you don't come home that night and you don't tell your girlfriend where you went that night, that's a different story. That's not okay. That's not what a relationship's about. I'll move on. Number 5, when women act like they're above someone else, or they treat people who work in service industries badly. If we're out on a date and you're rude to the waiter or waitress for no reason, or for something that wasn't their fault, if you're rude to them for the food not being cooked the way that it should be, when it's not their fault or something, if a waiter or waitress is being rude to you two, obviously you're not going to be okay with that, neither am I, and you should both, let the person know, and you should make it known. But don't go out of your way to be rude and be the B word to service somewhere, and don't think that you're like above them because they're waiting on you. You're both human beings, and them having that job versus whatever job you may have doesn't make you any better of a person than them or any higher than them. There's no caste system in the US. That's completely unattractive to me. One of the most unattractive things, maybe the most unattractive thing to me, is someone who thinks they're better than anyone else because of like a monetary reason, so money, or because of their status or anything like that. No, you base how much the level of respect you have for a person based on how they treat you, and that's it. Okay, number 6 on the turn-off list is trying to change me. And this is different than trying to better me, okay? When a girl sees that, like, say her man say he's not paying enough attention in church, say he's being kind of lackadaisical about some chores around the house or something. This is her wanting to make him a better person and a better partner if she gets on him about these things, or if she brings these things up to him. Now, what I mean by change me and why this is a turnoff, changing me is different than bettering me. By changing me, I mean, if you don't like the way I dress, trying to like go in my closet and throw clothes away, trying to take me away from my passions, like working out, being a good Christian, things like that, trying to pull me away from those things. You don't want me to go work out as much. You don't want, as long as I'm not negating my responsibilities as a human, you know, my bills, my family, my relationship with Christ, all of that. As long as I'm not, those things aren't negatively being affected by, like, say, the time I spend at the gym or whatever, then that's not something you need to try to change about me. And so that's a big turnoff when a girl is just kind of sees a guy as a project where she wants to change him. I see that often too, very often. Number 7, bad hygiene. I think this is something we can all agree on. No one likes someone who smells. No one likes someone who's dirty, doesn't shower regularly. It's even a big benefit to be clean, and for multiple reasons. Obviously, it's going to turn someone on more when you smell good or when you're clean. It's better for your health to be clean. You're going to get sick a lot less. It's more attractive to have, like, say, really white teeth if you brush your teeth a lot, you know, the right amount of times. And, you know, say if you want to bleach your teeth, whatever, you know, that's up for debate. But just being clean in general is extremely attractive, and really white teeth are really attractive. A girl that smells good is really attractive. You know, a lot of endorphins are released when you smell something that you like, so obviously that's going to be a positive thing. Number 8 on the turn-off list, laziness. This is huge because I'm an extremely hard worker, and I pride myself on that. And I'm someone who's very ambitious, so I need someone who's also ambitious, because I can't have someone, you know, for a lack of better terms, holding me back. I'm just gonna be blunt about it. I'm not gonna have someone holding me back because they don't work hard like I do. You know, I'm not gonna have someone that brings my mood down because they're lazy and they mope around the house all the time, and they're, you know, it's okay if you're more of a homebody than like someone who likes to go out and do things, but just, it's very attractive for someone to be productive with their time, to me. Because I don't like wasting time, you know, and that's not to say there's not times where you should, like, say, take vacations or whatever and just relax and not think about the stresses of life, but I don't want to waste any time either while I'm here. We only get one go-round at this thing called life, so why waste any time, you know? As long as you're growing in what you do and you're not being stagnant, you know, and there's actually a benefit to the things you're putting your time into. You know, if you're sitting there playing video games, you know, multiple hours a day, every single day, just because that's your hobby, there's no argument to try to say you're getting any benefit from that. That's only wasting time in your life, if you ask me. If you like to play video games, that's cool. Don't spend hours, multiple hours every single day playing them unless there's some type of benefit in your life that's coming from that. Or if you're single and not in a relationship, do whatever you want to do at that point, you know. But you have to think about the other person when you're in a relationship. So things like, for example, things like the gym, things like, you know, being healthy, spending time cooking, or reading, trying to increase your knowledge, you know, let's see, discipline equals freedom. I learned that from, I've learned that over time, but I basically got that exact quote from a podcast called Jocko Podcast. So for any guys watching this, I would assume it's mostly girls, but for any guys watching this or girls that are interested in something that may benefit their guy, Jocko Podcast is an ex-Navy SEAL, named Jocko, or nicknamed Jocko. He goes into stuff about how to be mentally strong and how to be successful in life, and how to handle tough times in life all the time. And one of the things he always says is discipline equals freedom. So the more disciplined you are to cut out the wasted time in your life and to make sure all of your priorities are taken care of, the more freedom you have, the more extra time you have, the more money you save and have to go do what you want to do. So discipline actually does equal freedom. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the turnoffs list. Number 9, someone who's obsessed with the nightlife. Okay, I've went through this phase in my life. I was definitely at one point obsessed with nightlife, and I understand why people are obsessed with nightlife. But at this point in my life, at 23, almost 24 next month, almost 24 years old, I just realized what's most important in life, and that I'm at an age where my success depends solely on me. I'm not depending on anyone else in my life anymore to take care of things for me. So I'm not going to waste much of my time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like going out with my friends every now and then to the club or the bar just to like get away and do something new and different. Never will you see me get in a routine of going every weekend to the club or the bar or the, out in the nightlife. First of all, it's not the most genuine place, sadly, to meet significant others. Two, most of the time it involves drinking, or people do other things like smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, whatever, which is not ever positive for your health. And three, not much positive, like not many things positive actually come out of it in the end. Like the next day after you say you had a good time, maybe you get a memory or two out of it, maybe you don't. But besides that, what did you get? Like, did you increase your the money in your bank account at all? No, you probably spent money. Are you healthier because of it? No, you're probably less healthy because you went out and didn't get much sleep and you drank, or even if you didn't drink, you didn't get much sleep, or whatever. There's always a chance, especially as a guy, of getting into fights, or some guy, trying to touch your girl or something, or just be rude, or just be an asshole, whatever. So there's always chances to get into things that are only negative for you. So you've got to be very careful going out and making the nightlife a big part of your life. It's a turnoff for me if that's a major part of a girl's life. Number 10, the last turnoff. A girl who doesn't like kids or animals. And I know this can be a very different thing. Like somebody can love kids, somebody can and not like animals, or somebody can love animals and not like kids. But I just kind of put it together because honestly I needed to fit 10. I needed to get 10 turn-offs. I like that solid number. But I have a dog. He's a 115, 120 pound dog. So if you don't like animals, and that's a pretty big animal, you can't just ignore that walking around your house. That's a big deal to me. He means a lot to me. It's just me and him living here. I live alone. It's me and him, so he's a big part of my life. He's dogs are extremely loyal, and so just like I just love spending time with him too. So someone that I'm gonna want as a significant other is gonna need to be cool with spending time with him as well, and not hate dogs. It doesn't have to be your passion, but I don't want someone that hates dogs or just animals in general. But how could you not like animals, especially when they're puppies though? Like especially when they're little. Like everybody should like little animals. Anyways, I'm not gonna go off on a rant like that. But and then the kids thing, it's instinctual for men to, like, over generations and generations and generations of breeding between humans, it is instinctual and it's ingrained in men to seek out a woman who has motherly attributes and who has traits that are going to be positive for, like, being a mother and raising a child a pleasant experience, And so for a girl to not like kids, especially a girl who, who, like I said, who dislikes kids, you don't have to be like obsessed with kids and want to be a freaking preschool teacher or whatever, but to dislike kids is like a turn off for me, because it scares me, because I want to have a family one day. I want to have a little me and a little girl like my wife. That's kind of like the mental picture, but like I want something like that or along those lines one day. And for someone to not like kids, that's gonna throw that off. It would just make things difficult, let's be honest. So the simpler and the easier things can be, the more we all benefit. Okay, now what you've all been waiting for, the turn-ons. Top 10 turn-ons. Again, not in order, but this probably is the number one biggest turn on for me. At number one, a girl that is a Christian. Now, I know there's plenty of people out there, especially nowadays with this whole trend towards political correctness, that are not Christians or maybe not even religious. But I'm always going to be honest with you guys, and I'm always going to be real, because I don't like watching YouTube videos or videos that people put out when they seem fake or scripted or not or whatever, or they try to hide their real views, or they try to just be please everyone. That's not me, and that's not what I'm going to give you guys. So I was raised as a Christian, and that's a big thing for me, and it's very attractive to me for a woman to have something like that, to be her, like something that holds her down. You know, it keeps her grounded, and that, because it's always kept me grounded. I want to raise my kids to be Christians, you know, not in a forceful way, but just kind of teach them, you know, how much of a positive force in your life God can be if you allow Him to be, you know, not by forcing. It's not like I'm not gonna run my life with my kids like a dictatorship, but I think having that strong core set of morals that Christianity brings to the table it's inevitable that it's going to help you in life if you let it. So that's something that's a very big turn on for me. Okay, number two turn on. This is something that I've always known. You know, you kind of change as you grow older with the things that turn you on or turn you off, you know, and you change as a person. Everyone goes through that. What they like, what they don't like, it may change over time. But for me, one thing that's always been consistent as a turn on, a girl that is perfectly okay with and goes out of her way to show say you go to a restaurant, okay, for example, for everyone in that restaurant, or that, say, a bar, that's even better. Let's go with a bar where there may be people that are single, there may be people that are not. To go to a bar, say I went with a girl to a bar, and she has no problem with everyone in that bar knowing she is with me. I'm not saying she gets on the table and screams to everyone in the bar, you know, I'm with Tyler, whatever. But for her focus to be on me and my focus to be on her is very attractive to me. I don't want to ever have to second guess that the person I'm with only wants to be with me and is okay with just getting attention from me. And I have no problem giving that attention to just them and not seeking attention from other people. So that's how a relationship should be in my eyes, and that's something that's extremely attractive to me. Okay, my number 3 turn on is going to be someone that cares about their health. This is a big part of my life. It's something I'm passionate about, so it's in my mind a lot, okay? And I don't mean, when I say someone who cares about their health is a turn on, I don't necessarily always mean, even though this is a benefit of it, that they physically look good, that they physically look like fitness is their life. That's not necessarily what I mean. I mean, that's attractive too, and it's attractive for that to be someone's like main passion because it just fits well with me. But that's not like a make or break thing. You don't have to be extremely passionate about fitness, but to care about your health. The people who don't care about their health, it's hard for me to even have them in my close circle, or like, you know, hang out with them every day, because we just like different things and we end up doing different things and parting ways if that's not part of their lifestyle. So it's definitely very attractive for a girl to care about her health. It's going to help you with longevity of your life. You're going to live longer if you take the steps needed to be a more healthy person. You're going to look better physically, which is only beneficial for both of us in the situation. You know, I think it's something that, here's a side note, I think it's something couples like really don't focus enough on, especially after they've been together for a long time, is keeping each other attracted to one another. Like, people get so comfortable and they just kind of like, whatever, and they mope around through life like without caring about what they look like. They're like, oh, I've already got someone, why try that hard? It's not the mentality to have in any part of your life. That's never going to benefit you. It's like, oh, okay, I made it this far, guess good enough. No, it's not good enough. You always need to be looking to improve, and the more that your partner is attracted to you, the less likely they are to wander, for their eyes to wander, because we all wonder how it would be, and we all of our minds are going to wander, okay? But to minimize that and to keep someone interested in yourself, and to keep them and to keep yourself interested in them, you both should like really try to take care of yourself and be clean, healthy, and fit people. Number 4, someone who's easy to like and that I can introduce to my family and friends. If you're easygoing and I don't have to worry about if I take you to meet my parents or my friends, like, well, maybe I should kind of tell them, like, well, don't bring this up, or, you know, be easy when you talk about this subject or whatever. If you're just easygoing and you're not, you know, you don't have a bad temper, you don't have, like, you can just talk to people and be friendly and have a good conversation, and you're not like you don't have a one-track mind to where you kind of like, if someone believes a certain thing, you completely cut them off and you can't talk to them, can't deal with them, like you're not, like you just push them away. Like you can't be like that, you know. Just someone who's open to talking to people, easygoing. That makes things so much simpler, so much easier. I've been in the situation before where I was like, man, I like this girl, but she does this and this, or she feels this way. I know that that's going to rub this person the wrong way. And for, you know, everyone has those things, but you should try to minimize them, right? I mean, you don't want to rub people the wrong way. So developing yourself to where you do well in social settings, and I don't mean be fake, but to develop your social skills to where you can actually listen to and learn from other people's point of views, and you just do simple things like you're just kind and respectful when you first meet people, especially your elders. Like that stuff goes a long way with me. Number 5 on the turn on list, someone that I can be best friends with. Someone that actually wants to grow together, okay? Not grow separately, which you need to do this too, but that's not their main focus as far as the relationship goes. Everyone needs to be focused on growing individually, because you're not marrying someone else to become one with them at all times of your life. You are a team, but you have to be individuals who work together, okay? Because if you become one and you have that, you know, it just doesn't work like that. Like you can't make everything that they really like the things that you really like, and vice versa. It just doesn't work that way. You have your differences. But someone who can grow with me, and I don't mean grow into one, I mean grow into better individuals, but together. This is a big turn on, okay? I'm not gonna grow old with anyone that I don't think can be my best friend and I can actually enjoy spending time with for the rest of my life. And I don't think I need to say much more on that. I think that's pretty obvious for most people. Okay, number 6 on the turn on list is someone that likes to cook. She doesn't have to be, you know, Mrs. Chef Chrome, okay? But someone who likes to cook, I mean, it is through the stomach, it truly is the way to a man's heart. I mean, I like to eat, especially when I'm trying to gain weight, okay, you know, and I'll be honest, you know, maybe it's a little more times than it should be, but I like to eat, and most people do. So, you know, and you get a lot of endorphins released when you satisfy that need in your stomach for good food. So someone who can cook, it always goes a long way. It's a plus. You know, I'm not the guy that's like, get your ass in the kitchen and cook me something to eat. But for a woman to do that on her own and take it upon herself to, like, you know, just do something nice for her man and cook him a meal, like, that's really attractive. So number 7 on the turn-ons list is a woman who shows motherly qualities. I'm not gonna go just like super in depth with this one, because I kind of touched on it with in the turn-offs section of the video, where I said if a woman doesn't like kids. So, you know, basically it's just an attractive thing for a woman if she shows motherly qualities, because I do want to have kids one day, and I want a woman who doesn't hate taking care of them, and, you know, can kind of enjoy that part of life by my side. Number 8, getting towards the end of the turn-ons list. A woman that lets me be a man is a turn-on. By this, I mean, I want a woman who understands how men, I don't want to say understands how men work, because I don't think any man or woman really completely gets how the other sex works, but at least generally understands that men and women are very different. You know, like, a man's not always gonna know what you're thinking, ladies, unfortunately. I know y'all like to assume that he should have known I was feeling this way because I did this, whatever. It's not like that. Guys just don't think like that. We think very logically and to the point, and it's very simple. We're very simple-minded beings, and women think of like every piece of the situation and how it all comes together as one. Well, whereas the men just think of the focal point, and we're not as good at multitasking like women, things like that, and that's been proven through studies, so it's not just like an opinion I'm giving. Generally, women are better at multitasking, men are better at focusing on one point. So anyways, just don't expect your man to like be able to read your mind, basically. You know, it's a turn on when a woman understands that men think differently, and she's able to work with the man on that, and it's vice versa. All these things I'm saying, like, I also, as a man, understand that women think differently, so I need to help her and work alongside her to be able to communicate better. Also, things like, you know, understanding that you just gotta let a guy be alpha sometimes. Like, it's just in our being as men to want to just like be rough with shit sometimes. I'm just being completely honest. To just bang out the weights in the gym, to go shoot guns, to go hunt, to, you know, whatever it may be. Like, some guys like to work on cars, like, in just things that are dirty, grimy, take grit and like willpower, play sports, just rough and tough, like just manly shit, you know. Like, just understand that men have to get that out of their system. Like, that is just a primal thing that comes with producing so much testosterone, that's something that women just don't produce, so they don't feel that way. So understanding that is a big turn on. Number 9. Now, I led into this one with number 8, so I'm not going to go too far into it. I should have separated them more than I did. But number 9 is a woman who doesn't assume I know what she's thinking. So you guys get the gist of it. I'm not going to rant on that for too much longer. And then number 10 on the turn on list is willing to talk out possible arguments. That is a big turn on. For a woman to not fly off the handle, force arguments, argue over text is a big thing. I don't like to text when I'm upset about something or someone else is upset about something. I like to, okay, whoa, hold on. I'll catch myself doing it, but when I do, I'm like, hold on, we need to meet in person. I need to be able to see what kind of emotions you're putting into what you're saying, if it's positive, if it's negative, if you're loud, if you're quiet, if you're upset, if you're happy, blah, blah, blah. I need to be able to see all this with my eyes as well as hear you and the tone in your voice. So texting is not a good thing. Flying off the handle is not a good thing. Someone who's willing to sit down with me, talk about, okay, what is the problem? How can we fix it? Now we need to bridge the gap between these two. From where we're at now, how we can fix it, what do we need to do to get there? Now, as a team, let's do it. So guys, that concludes my list of 10 turn-ons and 10 turn-offs. Tell me what y'all thought. If you like this video, if you like my content, subscribe below, hit the thumbs up button. You know, if you have any comments or questions or anything that you felt like I left off that's very important as a turn on or turn off. I mean, these are personal choices of mine, but something that you think that maybe I didn't think about, put that below. Maybe I'll do an updated video of this a year or two from now. Or maybe I'll change my mind on some things and I'll come back and redo this video. But guys, that's about it. In case you're wondering what's in this shaker here, I got my NutriKey shaker. Obviously, that's one of my supplement sponsors if you follow me. Right now I got BCAAs in here, strawberry, watermelon flavor, and then also Inaflex, which is a joint supplement. So, you know, you gotta keep the joints healthy when you're banging out the heavy weights, because it's hard on your body sometimes. And then also the new team, Elevated Mindset Apparel. So if you guys want, it does taste good. I had to get some of that. If you guys want some of these supplements, 35% off, use my code. I'll put it right here, CHROMEVIP at thenutrakey.com. Or also, both go to the same website, but you can also go to NutriKeyHealth.com. That's the one I actually suggest typing in, because they switched. But either one will work. They'll both take you to the same site. Use that code CHROMEVIP for 35% off supplements. If you want clothing, if you want some of this Elevated Mindset clothing and squat up with us, you know, use the code CHROME10 for 10% off at ElevatedMindsetApparel.com. Besides that, guys, that was my top 10 turn-ons and turn-offs. Thank you for watching. Chrome out.